Welcome to today's Explainer. Let's jump right into this because we are looking at a massive fundamental shift in how we build financial security today. For decades, the path to the American dream seemed incredibly straightforward. But right now, millions of people are waking up to the fact that the old rules of wealth building are fundamentally changing. Today, we're going to explore why simply saving your money might actually be causing you to fall behind and what the new path to financial freedom really looks like.
We have all heard the golden rule, right? Work hard, save your money, stay out of debt, and you'll be successful. I'm sure you've heard your parents or grandparents say something exactly like this. And for generations, honestly, that advice made perfect sense. You could just put your money in a traditional savings account, earn some decent interest, buy a home, raise a family, and eventually retire comfortably. It was basically a formula that guaranteed a comfortable life as long as you just had the discipline to stick to it.
But here is the thing, and this is the core conflict we're unpacking today. What if that exact formula no longer works? What if the financial rules that helped previous generations build all that wealth are actually becoming completely ineffective in today's America? The really unsettling question we need to ask ourselves is whether doing exactly what we've been told, simply saving our hard-earned money, is now actively causing hardworking people to fall behind.
Section 1. The broken financial formula, the agitation.
To really wrap our heads around this, we need to look at the actual math of why the old work and save strategy feels so incredibly frustrating and broken in the modern economy. Let's start with a really simple scenario. I want you to imagine that you have $10,000. You do the responsible thing, you put it in a traditional savings account, and you just leave it there for 10 years. Sounds completely responsible, right? You aren't wasting it, you aren't gambling it away on some risky bet, you are doing exactly what financial experts have recommended for decades. But there is a massive hidden problem with this strategy today.
And here is the culprit. Inflation. It's this silent force that just decreases your purchasing power over time. While your 10 grand is sitting there safely in that bank account, the real-world cost of literally everything around you is going up. Think about it. Buying a dozen eggs or just your favorite morning cup of coffee practically requires a financing plan compared to what they cost just 10 years ago. This silent force means your safely stored money is actually shrinking in its real-world value. Let's put a real number on this. Even if inflation averages just 3% per year, which, might not sound like a huge deal initially, over time it has a staggering impact. If your savings account is earning less than that inflation rate, your purchasing power is slowly but surely declining. So, you are technically saving money, yes, but you are actually becoming poorer in terms of what that money can actually buy out in the real world.
Section 2. Chasing a moving target.
Because look, inflation doesn't just affect your groceries. It completely alters the landscape of the biggest purchases we make in our lifetimes, which just compounds this problem exponentially. Take the traditional centerpiece of the American dream, owning a home. A stable job and disciplined saving used to virtually guarantee it. But look at the variables today. We're not just talking about skyrocketing home prices. You also have higher mortgage rates, increased property taxes, rising insurance costs, and way higher maintenance expenses. Literally every single pillar of homeownership has drastically increased in cost.
Our source material uses this incredibly vivid metaphor that I think perfectly captures the modern struggle. It says, imagine trying to catch a train that's accelerating faster than you can run. And wow, that is exactly how so many first-time homebuyers feel today. You're doing everything you were supposed to do. You're budgeting, you're working hard, you're saving every extra dollar. Yet every single year, the target of homeownership just accelerates further out of reach.
And this brilliantly illustrates why earning more money doesn't always solve the problem. Let's say you get a raise, and your paycheck is larger than ever. Awesome, right? But the modern reality is that rising rent and food just eat right up into that salary increase. Increased utilities completely negate the feeling of progress. Higher insurance premiums keep actual financial freedom out of reach. It's like you're running faster and faster on a treadmill, but staying in exactly the same place.
Section 3. The power of ownership.
Okay, so if saving and getting a higher salary aren't the ultimate answer, what is? Well, we need to stop looking at how we save dollars and start looking at how the wealthy acquire assets. When you look at the wealthiest individuals and families out there, their wealth doesn't primarily come from a high salary or just having a massive savings account. It comes from ownership. They own businesses, stocks, real estate, and intellectual property. They own things that inherently increase in value over time. They understand the true wealth comes from acquiring productive assets.
Let's look at a direct comparison to make this crystal clear. We have Sarah, who saves $500 a month in a basic savings account. Then we have Mike, who invests $500 a month into a diversified portfolio of assets. Now, over a 10 or 20-year period, the difference between these two is absolutely enormous.
Both of them are disciplined. Both are doing the hard work of delaying gratification. But Mike's strategy actually allows his money to grow at a much faster rate, outpacing that silent force of inflation.
Now hold on, I want to pause here and make a very important distinction based on our sources. This explainer is absolutely not a message about going out and spending recklessly. Saving still matters. Emergency funds matter. Short-term financial security matters. Traditional saving isn't bad or irresponsible. It's just that saving alone is simply no longer enough to build true, lasting wealth in today's economic environment.
Section 4. The New American Dream. This realization is exactly why younger generations are looking at this math and fundamentally redefining what financial success actually looks like as they adapt to this completely new reality. The dream is no longer just a stable job, a house in the suburbs, and a pension. Today, it's about financial independence and time control. It's about remote work and ultimate flexibility, entrepreneurship, building multiple income streams, and owning those income-generating assets we talked about. The focus has entirely shifted from merely earning a paycheck to actively creating systems that help your money grow independently. And this really is the golden rule of the new economy. A dollar sitting still has incredibly limited potential, but a dollar invested in productive assets, that creates future value. The wealthiest people understand that money is basically just a tool. The ultimate goal isn't just to hoard and protect your cash in some vault. The goal is to actively put your money to work for you.
So how do you actually put this into practice? Well, the good news is you don't need to be rich to start, and you definitely don't need perfect timing. You just need these 4 keys. First, awareness of this changing landscape. Second, education on basic investing. Third, consistency over a long period. And fourth, adaptability. Look, yes, investments carry risk. Markets fall, businesses fail. But that is exactly why education, diversification, and long-term thinking are absolutely essential.
Which brings us to the end of today's explainer, and I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Based on everything we've unpacked today, do you think saving money is still enough to achieve the American dream, or do you believe investing and asset ownership have become absolutely essential? It's a huge question, and honestly, it's one that will define the financial future for all of us. Thank you so much for hanging out with me to explore this vital topic. Keep learning, keep adapting, and